Hi and welcome to Edge of Plays, back to the tactics board. In today's video we're looking at a five-a-side formation of a 1-1-2. We'll look at key features and then some of the issues you might have when trying to implement this formation with your team. Here the players are then set up in the 1-1-2 formation. The features I'd like to start with, well obviously you've got two up front and so you're really loading that area of the pitch. It's a very much a front foot approach, you know, in terms of the opposition might be trying to get the ball out from the back and you've got two already up top putting the pressure on. You've got a midfielder trying to close off that passing lane. So if you can try and shut them down early on, you could make it very difficult for an opponent to even get out in this system. You know, but it's all very well having players in advanced positions, but you've got to get the ball to them. And I think this 1-1-2 system is it lends to playing forward quite early. You know, you've not got lots of players for the build-up play, looking to get the ball forward relatively early, be quite direct perhaps, and then you have two players up there. You know, if they have the pace or they have the strength to hold it up, they can beat players in one-on-ones, then you get the ball forward to those players early on and let them go for it, and that could really overload an opposition defence and make it hard for them to get out. You also, in this system, by doing that, you also kind of force an opponent, say an opponent wants to have a 1-2-1 formation, where they've got the extra player midfield, but if you're able to almost bypass the midfield and get the ball forward early on, beyond the opposition midfield where they have the overload, and all of a sudden now you're 2-on-1 in those areas, you make an opponent have to make a decision. Do they try and cut off the ball forward, or does another player end up getting dragged back, and now they end up with two at the back? And so yes, they can get the ball out from the back a little easier, and now you're 2-on-2 up front and looking to link up from your forwards maybe into midfielders. So can you, with this system, force the opponent to bring in an extra defender, which then pushes them deeper and makes it harder for them to play the way they intended to at the start of the game? I think to make this system effective as well, your forwards need to be clever with the movement. They don't want to be getting under each other's feet. There might be some interchange, which one player is moving in to offer for the ball there, is the other player moving in to spaces left behind. And as the play's built up, it might be the ball's not come now, you've come deep, now you're making these big runs there to receive the ball. So there just needs to be a bit of interchange and a bit of coordinated movement between your two forwards, so they're not getting under each other's feet and making it too predictable. You could almost say, really, at times this would be more of a 1-1-1-1 formation. You know, it's unlikely you want your two forwards just to be square on. They're probably looking to add some depth to that, so one player moves in behind there, and the other player moves in to receive and link up the play. So yeah, you'd often be more of a four lines of it, 1-1-1-1, though officially you might be calling it a 1-1-2 formation. Some of the issues you may face in this system then, first of all, you've only got one defender to start with, so they could be isolated. They might find it hard to build from the back because they're only able to go to one side to receive from the keeper, or they receive centrally. They have less options to play either side of them, so you're relying on your midfielder to get into spaces, but wherever they move, they could be leaving the central area of the pitch, which could leave you exposed if possession's lost. So these two, defence and midfield, are quite isolated in this system. And like I mentioned in the features, you're trying to get the ball forward to where you're strongest, and that might be up front where you have two potentially against one or two against two, and just to get the ball there might be more difficult because you have less players in your own half. With the building phase, can you get the spaces created, the gaps made through your build-up passing to get the ball forwards? But like I said before, if you're just playing direct and you get in there, the ball's going forward early from the back, and then you're just pressing your own through ball or trying to get onto your own through ball, then that is not so important, I suppose, if you're not looking to build possession anyway. I think a lot of this system does rely on the movement of your two forwards. If they're stood pretty woodenly just asking for the ball to their feet, then an opponent might be able to cover that and mark it quite simply until the ball's played and it's intercepted, and then you're in lots of trouble then, where you might be outnumbered every time. So you're relying on movement of forwards, a forward maybe to come in and receive the ball, to make space for the other forward to come and receive it, hold up the play, laying it off, and then you can go forwards. So you are relying on that kind of movement inside and movement in behind. It's got to be kind of all the time, really, because if you're not stretching the opponent in their own half, then they're going to leave you there and take more risk to come win the ball off you. So I do think centre forward movement in this system is really, really important. And it's not just the movement, it's awareness of movement. You don't want both your forwards coming in for the ball. They might have not received it for us, so they both end up coming short and short for the ball. Then you have nothing in behind, and they press you really aggressively, and then you can't get out. Another thing to consider: what are the defensive responsibilities of your two forwards? Are they expected to track runners? Is one of them going to stay up and one tracks back? Do they both track back, or do you take a risk and try and keep them as far forward as you can, so when you win it back you can counter-attack quickly? So that would be an important factor here, which if you didn't get it right, you could be outnumbered a lot and be on the back foot a lot. So are you expecting them to track their own players? If there's 2-on-2, are you saying they can just stay there as they are and just we'll deal with that in man-on-man situations? Or are you saying, no, if a player's move forward, you've got to follow them. Defensively you are going to track, and we'll try and keep at least one staying up all the time. So that'll just be on the coach really to make that really clear to the players what's expected of them. They're not just stood up front all the time. Another thing here as well, because you're committing that extra player forward, is the responsibility of your central midfielder. Your central midfielder has to be quite disciplined. If the central midfielder is working in a 2, then they might have more leeway, more freedom to bomb on the big third man runs in behind, to go and get forward more, basically, and also to come support the defence. So in a 2, you can do that and you still have a central midfielder. Now we've only got one central midfielder. Wherever that midfielder goes to, they're leaving this area of the pitch. Have the forwards notice that? Is there awareness to then drop in maybe? So one of the forwards then becomes a midfielder, run's been made in behind, has that been covered by the team? Otherwise, if not, then you could have a situation where any movement the midfielder makes out of the middle area is exposed in defensive transition. And in this system as well, your central defender is going to need to be good in one-on-ones, because they have no support. The midfielder will probably be occupied with their midfielder in a man-on-man situation, or at the very least having to get back and support might be too late. So can this defender hold up the opposition defender? Can they delay for long enough? Are they just good at choosing when to go in and commit to a tackle and when to hold off, defend the space, delay, send them away from goal? Should say as well, from a defensive point of view, because you have two players up front, this can be handy for pressing. It all depends really. If one player presses this side and this player just hangs out on the other side, that isn't great for pressing. So we're looking, can they get a good support position? Are they either going to send them into a gap? For example, they're going to try and send them into their set midfielder to try and get on the front foot in there and win that challenge. They're going to cover in here and send them back inside just to delay and give them more time. How are you going to position yourself as the second defender in the press? That would be important to get that established. Thanks for watching this formation video. I hope you found it useful. To learn about other formations at 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 9-a-side and the 11-a-side games, go to the tactics section at www.edgeofplay.com.